I want to share this incident which happened in my life some years back and which still continues to reverberate in my memory. I was a member of the Rotary, and we wanted to organize a big gala program, a musical program. It was called the Rotary Sargam Fulwari, and we wanted to organize it in a huge big hall that is near where I stay. It has got a 1200 capacity hall, and since we were in a great mood to go ahead and do something of that level, we were looking out for sponsorships. So somebody suggested, one of the music companies, why not you go and approach those people, and they might be interested since you are going to have so many people in the audience and they are all going to be Rotarians, they are well to do. So why not approach them, and they might be able to sponsor that event. So with some of my Rotarian friends, I went to that office, and we waited for some time, and it was I stay in the eastern suburbs of Mumbai, and it was in the western suburbs. So with that hope that that is a big music, that time CDs were not there, there were only cassettes, so that company would become a sponsor. So we waited, and as is usual, the person who was supposed to meet us delayed. So by the time we kept on waiting in that hope. So it was 3 o'clock, and then after that it became 3:30, and then still, okay, he will meet you, that was what being told to us. So therefore we kept waiting. And then I realized that if this meeting is to take place, I might reach my clinic late. So my clinic time is 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then I realized that it is already 3:30 now. So I phoned up my assistant and told him that I won't be able to reach before 6. So, who are those patients who are absolutely urgent and cannot leave? Just only request them to wait. The rest of them, give them another appointment. And we kept waiting, and then it became 4, and it was nearly 4:30, and then I said that I cannot wait any longer. I'm sorry. There is a sponsorship that is available. It's fine. If it's not available, so what? We'll go ahead with the event in any case, and we are not waiting any longer for this person. And then I phoned up my clinic, and I told my assistant that, look here, now it's 4:30, and this is rush time. There will be a lot of traffic on the way. I won't be able to reach before 7, and that's the time when the clinic closes. So please request the patients to pardon me today, and if there is somebody who is extremely insistent, then anyway, I'll be coming to the clinic, that's for sure. So, but I might reach not before 7 in the evening, and that's my closing time. And then, we drove from there. Incidentally, that sponsor actually never met us. And it was good that we didn't wait any longer than this. By the time I reached my clinic, ladies and gentlemen, it was actually 7 o'clock. And as I entered the clinic, I thought that there would be one or two who might have that great need. So I'll look at what is their problem. Believe me, not a single patient had left. All of them were waiting. And as I saw that, I was dumbstruck. I was at a loss for words for a few seconds. And then I apologized to them. I'm so sorry I'm late. And please pardon me. You know what they said? They said, Doctor, we know. There must have been something very important which held you up. Otherwise, you would not have kept us waiting. My eyes got moist. I was choked. This much of faith, this much of patience. My patients have this much of respect and regard they have for me. This time, when I should be in the clinic, is my precious prayer time. And I shall devote that time solely and purely for the sake of my patients and nothing else. If they can have so much of patience, not a single patient complained. They could have. They could have told me, Doctor, you have given us an appointment. I mean, you may have your whatever activities you may want to do, but you can do it later. We are waiting. How can you do a thing like this? It's not enough to apologize. They did not say that. If they would have said that, probably the effect would not have been what it was when they said this. That we know there must have been something important that held you, otherwise you would not have kept us waiting. That incident made me realize how grateful and how blessed I should feel to be in this noble profession of medicine. And the second important thing it made me realize is that this time, which is meant for the patients, will be utilized for nothing except the welfare of my patients. So therefore, no answering social calls, no meeting friends, no making patients wait outside while I sit having my cup of tea or talking on the cell phone or calling over my friends and the patients are waiting outside and I'm having a good time talking and laughing, etc. When we do things like this, ladies and gentlemen, the patient who is outside will not complain, but he realizes. There at the reception counter, people making a lot of noise, talking about a lot of things, about films and the rest. No. That person who is sitting outside your cabin, waiting for you patiently, is in some sort of pain, some sort of suffering, whether it is physical or it is mental. And he or she comes with that expectation that he or she will be given undivided attention by the specialist who is sitting inside the cabin. That person is so eager to meet you as soon as possible. If you are going to be using that time, or I am going to be using that time for my personal work, then not only is it injustice to that person, it is cruelty. I suggest, I have made it a rule in my clinic, that none of those courtesy calls and none of those social activities shall take place in my clinic, making patients wait outside. This is my earnest request to all my fellow doctors to, if possible, use this method in their practice as well. If that is done, I feel a number of attacks that are taking place on doctors, they are not justified, but there is a swell of impatience. There is a swell of anger in the minds of patients and their relatives. A lot of it is misguided, but somewhere we must pause and ponder whether we, because of our behavior, are also responsible for this. So therefore, I have rededicated my efforts in my clinic for the sole benefit and welfare of my patients. Without them, I am nothing. Without God, we are nothing. Patients, therefore, are our gods. To look after them is a privilege that the knowledge that our great gurus have given us. The minimum that we can do is, during that time, we give them sole and undivided attention. This is an earnest appeal from one doctor colleague to the other doctor colleague. Thank you very much for listening to me.